going on, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show 24-hour a day. Back from the break. Remember, you guys should follow and subscribe on Rabble, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud. I think that's it. Rabble and Spreaker as well, where you guys will always be able to get updated whenever we have our past shows are up there, whenever we're streaming live, and whenever our podcast is posted. Also, remember, you guys can always call in and join in our discussion at 579910566. And also, you guys can comment on the Rabblecast and tweet us at KBR_sports so we can read your tweets and comments live during the show. But all right, last topic we were talking about the Seattle Seahawks, but to move on to another bird on the other side of the coast, we're going to be going on to the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons, obviously, they're a team that initially from the get-go, they started off 4-1, getting off to a hot start.
They were 4-1. I think they were. I think I said they were locked to make the playoffs at that point. I think.
Yeah.
And I think you said they're a pretty good chance they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And how far we've come so in a short amount of time.
Yep. Because they started off 4-1, and now they lost the 4 out of their last 7 games. So now they're 7-5, and they've allowed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to actually catch them in the division.
Up right now.
Yep. So right now they're both tied for first in the division. Nigel, you tell me, is it time for the Atlanta Falcons and Falcon Nation to hit the panic button?
No. No. Simply. No. But they should be. It should. If I panic meter, it would be a solid 5 out of 10 right now. Look, once again, they have the easiest schedule to close out. They have the lowly garbage Rams. They have the lowly garbage 49ers. Don't look at me like that. You know they're bad. The just got undressed Panthers, and they have the Saints. Those 3 are very winnable games. You probably will drop one, but I mean, if you're Atlanta, you had to be sitting in the division. You're like, man, we had this locked up, and all of a sudden now. You're looking at it, you're like, yeah, now you're in a dogfight to win the division, and if you don't win the division, there's a good chance you might not make the playoffs.
Well, in terms of their division, it's sad because they've seen this thing happen before.
Not before, last year.
Yeah, so it's like when this happens, you can only imagine everybody on the team is just like, oh wow. So, like, are we really better than last year? Yeah, exactly. So everybody's just gonna sit there and say, "Here we go again," and then you have all that anxiety and kind of stuff. And when you look at it, the Falcons, when you look at their season, it's kind of crazy because when I look at their losses, most of their losses have come in situations where the Falcons primarily lose when they don't. There's only been one instance where they lost and they scored 30 points or more.
I got better than them. How many losses do they have?
They have 5.
How many times do you think they've blown a fourth quarter lead?
Oh man, 4 times.
Absolutely right. 4 of their losses, they have had the lead. They had against San Diego, against the Seahawks. They had a lead against the not the Bucs. Sorry, they won that game. The Eagles, and they just had a lead against the Chiefs, and they blew all of those games. They would be sitting a pretty 11 and they'd be right there with Dallas right now. That was too easy. They'd be sitting there at 11-1, right there tied with Dallas right now if they could just close out games.
And it entertains me because of the fact that do you think that's more so the offense or is it just because of defensive ability? Because when you sit there and look at their offense, I mean their offense had just when you talk about how tragic of a way it is to lose, you just took the lead.
See, the problem is they played the Chiefs. They play the Chiefs who are masters at winning games that they should not win. Yeah. In ways they shouldn't win.
Yeah, man. Like, when I stress to y'all, the Falcons had just taken the lead with about 4 minutes left to go in the game. Matt Ryan had thrown a touchdown pass, and they were going for a 2-point conversion or to make it a 3-point game. And then, of course, Eric Berry, the safety picks the pass off and takes it back for a 2-point for a safety, pretty much. So then the Chiefs take the lead, and then the Falcons defense can't stop dishwater from flowing down the stream that. They couldn't even stop. They literally had to stop them from literally 10 yards. Guess what? They gave up 15.
They only gave up 29. That's a plus for the Falcons defense. 30. That's a win.
Man, look.
I want to get to the losses real quick. So first game they blew. They had the ball with 40. They should have run the clock out, and that would have been it. Ryan kicked off for the last. So that was then Celtics drew on the field and got a 44-yard field goal against the Chargers. They had a 15-point lead. They led 30-20 with 13-20. Let's see. What did it matter? All right, Matt Ryan again attempts to fit a pass in the closely defended Jones, was intercepted by Chargers linebacker with 3-4 tied the game up to go to overtime, and then they went on a 42-yard field goal against Philly. What happened here? Matt Ryan was intercepted.
It's that simple. It's that simple. He was intercepted.
A lot of reading, but it was just the guy intercepted. Let's see, they got a touchdown, blah, blah, blah. And then you just explain what happened last game. I'm not gonna go over it again. But so it's not just the defense that's being an issue. And 2 of their losses, Matt Ryan kind of cut down the picks, bro.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. It's not like he's turning over the ball an immense amount of time.
Only has 7.
Look, each game they've either tied or they've won the turnover differential, the turnover battle.
No, it's not.
It's not even the turnovers that's the issue.
It's the turnovers when you're having them is the issue. If you're getting intercepted with 4 minutes to go in the game, I mean, and then they drive down the field and score off you. I mean, you gotta be more careful with the ball.
But don't you think their defense has to
your defense has to help you out. But I mean, you're giving them the ball back for free essentially. I mean, you gotta help yourself too.
You do have to help yourself, but I feel as though every offense should be allowed one freebie because every defense is allowed a freebie. Essentially, the defense's freebies and you're allowed to score on them. So your defense should be able to supplement for you, not for your turnover.
But you gotta remember,
be able to stop. They literally just had to stop him from making a first down, bro. He's got 2 firsts in 1 run. Like that's
defense is hard, man. But I mean, we're spending too much time on the Falcons real quickly. Do you think
the topic is about the Falcons?
No, hold on. But I mean, there's another team that factors into this. Do you think Tampa Bay can't actually win the division? They're right there.
Yeah, they can. That's the reason why I think that they should be in the fans because it was a whole story when they had the lead and it was just looking like, oh, there's no way the Falcons could lose this because the division is going to catch up. Nobody else is going to play at a high level. But what do you know? Tampa Bay all of a sudden their defense offense. Justin Houston wants to. Or no, sorry, wrong guy. I was thinking about a different team.
Wrong guy.
Yeah. The middle linebacker for the Buccaneers.
That
dude's a beast. I can't remember his name.
Man, that guy's great.
God, that guy's great.
The defense for the last couple weeks. 10. They allowed 10 points to the Bears. I mean, Bears. They allowed 17 to the Chiefs.
What do you mean the Bears?
They're bad. They allowed 17 to the Chiefs. Great. 5 the season, and then 21 to the Chargers. This is playing, which is crazy because the defense gave up 43 and 30 the 2 weeks before that. Mm-hmm. So it's like all of a sudden their defense is turned into the 85 Bears essentially.
There we go. I was like, gosh, my man's name. But yeah, that's the thing. Tampa Bay has, and then Jameis Winston. It's not like Jameis Winston's putting up amazing numbers.
Playing great. He's just playing well enough to not lose the game.
Exactly. I mean, last week he played really good against Seattle. He played really good against Seattle. So it's like they've been playing. He hasn't been putting up Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's not putting up big numbers or anything.
He's been playing well under the radar.
20 of 30 for 280, 1 touchdown last week. Or this week, I should say. Last week, I guess. Whatever.
So then they're deep. Like
28 against the Seahawks.
You don't want to be on the slide that to avoid all season. You don't want to be on that slide where you're coming down and the other team's coming up to catch you. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be on that. And here's the Falcons' last few games. Last game lost it. Before that, beat the Cardinals. Game before that to the Eagles. Game before that, beat the Buccaneers. Game before that, beat the Packers. Lost to the Diego Chargers in overtime. Lost to the Seattle Seahawks. So you don't want to be on this down or this bump. At this point, they're exchanging every win for a loss. That's what's going down at this point. They just every single win they get, there's a loss to couple it. So if for Atlanta, man, they just need to get. I mean, really, this isn't panic time yet. Truly, the only reason why I said panic, you panic in terms of winning your conference, but in terms of making the playoffs, this isn't time to panic yet because of the fact that Washington lost. The Giants lost.
They did.
So it's not time to panic because you still have a better record than Washington.
Yep.
And the Giants, they're 1 game ahead of you.
Yep.
So
it's the Giants.
Huh? You said it's the Giants. So when you look at it from that standpoint, but one thing Atlanta cannot do, you can't let Green Bay catch you because now Green Bay's sitting at 6-6. So at this point, at one point, we all thought Green Bay was done. Now Aaron Rodgers obviously and the crew have other things to say about that. Jordy Nelson returning back to his prime, to his form again, making me proud on my fantasy team.
But I will say the Giants. I mean, they have a tough schedule to close out too. They have to play the Cowboys next week. To be fair, they are the only loss the Cowboys have.
They are.
They play the Lions the week after that. They play the Eagles after that, and they play the Redskins to finish out the season. So I mean, that's not an easy schedule.
It's not.
But 2 teams are really hot right now, and the Redskins team that's teetering.
You said the Redskins are teetering.
Yeah.
Well, the Redskins are just. I don't know.
They're just
back to back. I mean, the Redskins schedule Eagles next week, Panthers, Bears, and then Giants. So their schedule is kind of eh.
Well, the problem is they're just such an average team.
Washington?
Yeah.
To me, it's weird because they're average, but at the same time, they're average, but they're good at being average. Does that make sense?
I guess so.
What they do, like how we consider them to be average, is like, oh, you're average in this standpoint of you're right in the middle of the pack, but their offense is really good, but their defense is like the defense isn't bad though. They're
even they're bad, and it's like you watch them, they're like they're good.
I don't really know how to even describe the Redskins.
Like if they're in like a situation they have to get a stop, I do not trust them to ever get a stop.
I get what you're saying, but then the Giants, I don't know. What are the Giants great at?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like, there's really nothing that these.
No, they've been good on defense. They've been good on defense recently. Until the last game, they've been rolling on defense. Hold on a second.
Well, in terms of
they shut 13. They shut the Bears down for 16. They gave up 20 to the Bengals. They gave up 23 to the Eagles. They gave up 10 to the Rams. 23. I mean, none of them gone off on them. They just kept everybody kind of down. I mean, they're not great teams.
The Giants are average.
They have been playing better. Is the point?
They're average defense.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Redskins' offense, ninth scoring offense. They're second in yards, so they gain a lot.
They can't score in the red zone.
They just don't get. Yeah, they just don't score once they get to the red zone. Yeah. I don't know. Is that the Kirk Cousins issue?
No, they've had bad. I'm not gonna. It's gonna sound like I'm defending Kirk Cousins real quickly, but they have had terrible, terrible.
The Kirk Cousins.
They've had terrible play calling in the red zone.
Lord knows in your house you got a flag.
No, I don't.
I'm saying, man. Yeah. That's why a lot of guys are very hesitant about paying him that money.
He's still been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. So
he has been, but
in back-to-back years. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. No,
I'm just saying.
No.
Your team
moving on.
The most yards.
Hold on a second.
Your team gains the most yards behind the Saints.
I'm not talking. I'm not saying anything.
You can't score in the red zone. Hey,
I'm not saying anything.
You don't gotta say nothing.
I don't need to. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Okay.
As simple as that. I'm just not gonna argue with you. This is not a Kirk Cousins. No, we're not talking about Kirk.
The points.
We're not talking about Kirk.
I was about to go to Atlanta.
Go ahead. They're mid. They're
you gonna pull a Kanye West?
No, I ain't pulling a Kanye West. I'm just saying.
You sure?
You talk about Kirk all the time.
You know what I was gonna say?
I didn't. I thought you were gonna talk about Stearns. Go ahead.
Yes, that's why you can't jump so quickly to conclusions. But the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, that's because their offense is number one.
Yes.
But then when I look at Tampa Bay, offense is 15th. So their average offense in terms of scoring wise, and Atlanta is the number one scoring offense. So literally, Tampa Bay is right in the middle in terms of offense. In this game 12, so their average offense, Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah.
So that's what makes. Cause to me, I'm like, if your offense is so prolific that you can, but now the fact that Julio Jones has turf toe.
Yeah, turf toe, but he won't miss time though.
Bro, I don't know, man. Turf toe be unsuspecting, but we got to close out the and go on to our next topic, Y'all, going on from the break, we touched on a team that actually could be underrated, that actually gave their last loss. Stay tuned to find out who it is. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show 24-hour day.
You just mentioned them like 15 times. You're right.